Do I start?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Riana, and have you guys ever, like, thought out a plan or like planned for something to go a certain way, only you do the opposite and you make things worse for yourself? Well, the quote I have is, "It is human nature to think wisely and act foolishly." And this was by Anton France, and I'd like to start off with like an example. So my junior year, I was in ASB. I got kicked out for I got suspended. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a better person. Like, I'm gonna make smart decisions. They were all just like words. And like they say, like actions speak louder than words. And I learned this over time, but I got back in, then I started making stupid decisions. I got kicked out of my house. And then I was like, okay, I should probably go back. So that's like an example of like thinking wisely, like my mom probably still loves me, blah, 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 blah. And then, they didn't show up to my graduation, so that was me acting foolish, like acting like the victim, acting like, like things don't go my way, when in reality I should have like taken those words into action. Another example would be, I want to get into the nursing program, and I just found out you need like a 3.85 GPA, and I don't know if like I can pull through with that, but now I know, and there's an exam on Monday, so I'm gonna study for that exam. Also, they say that it's human nature to think wisely and act foolishly, but people are hypocrites, and an example would be like, there's this girl who keeps like coming to me, and like I know they say like cut out toxic people, but like what if that toxic person doesn't want to leave? So I got this, like I ordered a restraining order against her, and then I let her get to me, and I was like being the bigger person, like I was thinking wisely, like I shouldn't say anything. Oh, okay. I shouldn't say anything, and then I did, like I went off like on a little rant, and I posted on Twitter, and then she brought it up in court, and yada yada. And then so we were just like going back and forth, and that taught me that I shouldn't like just say things or like just go off because I'm angry. Like I should just like think wisely and not act foolishly. So after that, like after learning that I shouldn't have done that, like I didn't, I just like stayed away, I minded my own business, and so I won that court case, and not acting foolishly gave me what I wanted. So in conclusion, it is human nature to think wisely and act foolishly, and yeah, that's all. A souvenir for that. Yes, that one.
All right, you didn't introduce yourself. I just called you by name, so you really didn't need to do that. I think you want to introduce the topic a little bit more. The rhetorical question's okay. I thought you had a pretty good transition to the quote that you had, but you don't really tell us what your point of view on the quote is. Ultimately, it sounds like you're sort of agreeing that this is what people do, and you're going to prove it by using some examples of your own experience. That probably would have been an easier way of making that point clear to people from the beginning. There's not really a preview of what the supporting structure of the speech is going to be. Even a reference to the notion that you're going to look at 2 or 3 personal examples to illustrate that would have helped a little bit more. The examples are okay. They do remain a little abstract, and you're trying to be both honest but also discreet at the same time. We don't have to know every dirty piece of laundry that you've got there. But if there was something that if there was something that went on that you could describe, it would make it a little bit more engaging and interesting for us to listen to, and we're more likely to be able to see your point of view and say, oh yeah, that was a silly thing to do, and you could see in hindsight why that was a mistake to do that kind of thing, or how the decision to change your action or behavior actually ended up working out better in the long run. But because we don't get those details, we just have to take your word for it, and I think you want to make a better argument than that. Presentation issues, it's easy to hear you. There's pretty good variety in your voice. There are a couple of places where there's hesitation. Mostly it seems like you're a little uncertain about where you're going next, and so you're having to stop to think about that kind of thing. Oh, and at the end, also, you couldn't quite find the exit line, so there was that hesitation and pause also. Gestures are sometimes a little bit limited. I thought that you were okay with some indicators, but you might be a little bit more engaged. The eye contact is okay. You do have a tendency sometimes to look over people and look down at their feet while you're thinking. I do see you looking at people too, but every time it's time for you to think about something, the next thing you're going to say, your eyes either go down or they go up, and so you want to be a little bit more conscious of that kind of thing. Your body movement is a little bit odd at the beginning. You're standing with your ankles crossed while you're speaking, and you look a little bit unbalanced as a consequence. Probably about halfway through you stopped doing that, and it looked a little bit more comfortable with the rest of the presentation. And then, as I already said, at the end you had a little trouble finding the exit line. All right, thank you.